The great galactic council chamber was silent. Millions of stars shone through the transparent walls, but no one looked at them. Every representative from every known species sat frozen in their seats. They were waiting for the High Speaker to begin. High Speaker Vorian, old and tired, stood at the center platform. His hands shook as he activated the galaxy map above him. A giant blue sphere appeared. Glowing softly, it was Earth, the home of humanity. Vorian cleared his throat and spoke the same warning he had repeated every year. "Do not provoke humanity," he said, his voice heavy with fear. "They are not like us. They survived the deadliest world in known space. They evolved through storms, disasters, and endless wars. They adapt faster than any species we know, and when they are angry, they do not stop." Many council members sighed. They had heard this speech too many times. Some rolled their eyes. Some whispered jokes. Some even laughed. A young ambassador from the Valian dynasty stood and smirked. "Humans are new to the galaxy," she said. "They have small borders, few colonies, and weak numbers. They talk too much and rely on diplomacy. They cannot threaten great empires like ours." Her supporters clapped their hands. Others nodded with agreement. To them, humans were soft, friendly, and easy to manipulate, but Vorian shook his head. He zoomed the galaxy map outward, showing ancient battle sites. Red marks filled the screen. "These are the remnants of the old war," Vorian said. "A war humanity never speaks about." Whispers filled the hall. The old war was a mystery, a forgotten conflict where entire civilizations vanished without trace. Rumors said humans played a role, but no one believed it. Vorian continued. "We have records from long ago," he said. "Records of human machines that learned during battle, records of ships that changed shape in combat, records of soldiers who refused to die. Humanity is peaceful now. But they were not always like this." The Zarkan warlord slammed his clawed fist on the table. "Enough of these ghost stories," he growled. "We are warriors and we fear no one. If humans resist, we will crush them." Several war-focused empires cheered. They wanted more territory, more resources, more power, and Earth looked small and easy to conquer. Vorian raised his voice in desperation. "Listen to me," he begged. "Do not attack their colonies. Do not threaten their borders. Do not test their patience. They do not respond like other species." But his words were ignored again. The young rulers wanted glory. The old rulers wanted advantage. And the greedy ones wanted human technology. As the meeting ended, the Drakari delegation gathered in a corner. Whispering, they planned a raid, a simple strike, a small attack to test human reactions. The council begged them to reconsider. But they only laughed and said, "What will humans do? Complain?" Vorian watched them leave with a heavy heart. He knew what was coming. He knew the Drakari would regret their pride. He knew the galaxy would soon learn the truth he had warned for years. And somewhere far away, on a quiet blue world called Earth, humanity watched the council meeting replay, and they whispered a cold, simple reply. "You should not have ignored the warning." The Drakari Empire moved quickly after the council meeting. Their warlords gathered in a dark chamber filled with smoke and glowing symbols. They believed humanity was weak. They believed the council was afraid for no reason. And they wanted to prove their strength to the entire galaxy. Warlord Scar, the most ruthless of them all, pointed at the projection of a human colony, a peaceful settlement on the edge of explored space. Families lived there, scientists worked there, and children played under artificial suns. It was undefended, simple, and calm to the Drakari. It looked like the perfect target. "Strike fast," Scar ordered. "Hit them before they can react. Show the council that humans are nothing." Their fleet launched within hours. Dozens of sharp, black warships cut through space like blades. They arrived at the human colony without warning. The Drakari opened fire immediately, buildings exploded, alarms screamed. And people ran for shelters, but the humans did not fire back. They sent no ships, they made no threats, they only transmitted one quiet message into the void. Received. Scar laughed when he heard it. To him, it sounded like fear. To him, it sounded like surrender. But he did not understand what humans meant. No one in the Drakari Empire understood while the colony burned. A lone human scout vessel arrived at the edge of the system. Small, silver, and silent, it did not attack, it simply observed. Its sensors scanned every Drakari ship, every weapon, every engine signature. It recorded everything with perfect precision. The Drakari tried to target it, but their weapons refused to lock on. The scout ship moved too fast and too quietly. Then it disappeared without leaving a trace. Scar growled in frustration. "Cowards," he said. Humans do not know how to fight, but far away, Earth was already awake. The unified human command gathered in a room shaped like a giant ring. Screens showed the destroyed colony. Names of the dead slowly appeared across the displays. No one spoke, no one cried. Humans had learned long ago that silence was the first step of war. Commander Hale finally broke the silence, his voice calm, cold, and steady. "Prepare the defensive fleets," he said. "Do not attack first. Let the galaxy see who started this," around him. Officers nodded. They understood exactly what was coming. They had trained for it. They had feared it. And now it was happening across the galaxy. Whispers spread. The Drakari bragged about their victory. They mocked the humans. They bragged to allies and rivals alike. They believed the silent human response was weakness, but the Council knew better. They felt a cold shiver as they watched the Drakari celebrate. Because humans were always quiet before a storm, and this time, the storm would be unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen, because humanity had begun preparing. And once humanity prepared, they never stopped. The first warning had been ignored, the first attack had been made. Now the first consequences were coming. Slowly, silently, and with unstoppable precision. The Drakari Empire believed the humans were afraid. They believed the humans had accepted defeat. They believed the silence from Earth meant surrender. But all of them were wrong. 3 weeks after the attack on the human colony, the Drakari gathered a massive invasion fleet, 5,000 warships. Armed with the strongest plasma cannons and storm missiles, their ships glowed with red engines and their hulls hummed with power. To the Drakari, it was a glorious sight. To the rest of the galaxy, it was a nightmare. The fleet jumped into human territory with confidence. Every Drakari ship lit up the dark space like burning suns. The warlords cheered. "Today, humanity falls," they declared. "Today, we show the galaxy our true power." But when they arrived, something was wrong. The stars around them flickered as if they were glitching. The space around their fleet twisted like rippling water. Their sensors went dark for a brief second, then came back with static. Their targeting systems refused to lock. Their engines began to stutter like dying hearts. Warlord Scar shouted commands. "Hold formation," he ordered. "Prepare for human resistance," but no resistance came. Instead, silence filled the battlefield, a cold, heavy silence that felt unnatural. Then a single dot appeared on their scanners, small, weak, and alone. A human ship, or at least what looked like one. It was smaller than the smallest Drakari gunship. No visible weapons, no heat signature, no engine flare. It just floated there like a ghost waiting in the dark. The Drakari laughed at first. "This is their defense?" They mocked. "A tiny scout ship?" Then the human ship moved, and everything changed. It didn't fly like normal ships. It didn't turn or burn fuel or leave a trail. It simply slid through space as if reality itself made room for it. The Drukhari tried to track it, but every sensor failed. Every reading glitched, then the sky broke. Light tore open above the human ship. A crack in space itself, glowing with white fire from it. Hundreds of human vessels emerged. Silent, dark, shaped like blades made of shadows. They glided into position without a sound, no engines, no signals, no weaknesses. Panic spread through the Drukhari fleet. Fire, Scar ordered. Fire everything. Thousands of plasma blasts and missiles shot toward the human ships. But the shots went through them as if the ships were made of mist. As if they weren't really there. The humans still did not fire, they simply advanced. Slow, calm, and unstoppable, the Drukhari began to retreat. But their engines shut down, one by one, their ships drifted helplessly. The message was clear, humans could destroy them. But they were choosing not to, and that terrified the galaxy more than any weapon. For the first time, the Drukhari warlords understood the truth. Humanity had just shown a fraction of its power. A warning stronger than words, a promise of what would come next. The day the sky broke was only the beginning. The Drukhari Empire was in chaos. Their commanders screamed across the communication channels. Their ships drifted helplessly, unable to move or fire. Their systems flickered like dying stars, and still the humans did not attack. The silence from the human fleet was worse than any weapon. It made the Drukhari feel small, weak, and hunted. No one had ever made them feel like this, not in all their long history of conquest. Warlord Scar slammed his claws against the control panel. "Restart the engines," he shouted. "Power up the weapons." But nothing happened. The systems were completely dead. It was as if the humans were controlling the battlefield itself. The human ships continued to move forward. Not fast, not aggressive, just calm and steady. Their dark hulls reflected no light. Their shapes seemed to shift slightly. As if they were alive, the Drukhari panicked. "This is impossible," one commander cried. "No fleet can shut down thousands of ships at once. No species can manipulate space like this, but the humans could." And the humans did, then everything changed again. A bright wave of light rolled across the battlefield like a rising dawn. Even the stars dimmed under its glow. The Drukhari covered their eyes. Their screens exploded in static. Their ships shook as the wave passed through them. When their systems came back online, the Drukhari froze because the sky was filled with something enormous, something terrifying. Something they could not understand. The full human armada had arrived. Massive carriers, bigger than mountains, hovered behind the Shadowblade ships. Their hulls glowed with thousands of blue lights. Each carrier looked like a floating city. Some were so large they cast shadows across entire fleets. Behind them came another group of ships. Colossal destroyers shaped like giant wings. Their edges pulsed with strange energy the Drukhari had never seen before. And behind even those, more ships arrived. War platforms the size of small moons, mobile fortresses that carried millions of drones. Vessels older than most empires, vessels from humanity's forgotten past. The Drukhari fell silent. Even Warlord Scar could not speak. His throat trembled as he stared at the impossible sight. He had believed humanity was weak. He had believed humanity was slow. He had believed humanity was small. Now he understood the truth. Humanity had only been hiding. Waiting, watching, holding back. A communication signal opened across the battlefield. A human officer appeared on every Drukhari screen. His face was calm, serious, and cold. "You attacked our people," he said. "You were warned. You refused to listen." Then the signal ended. No threats, no shouting, just a simple fact. The human armada began to power up, Their ships glowed with silent energy. Their weapons hummed like awakening giants. And the Drakari realized something horrifying. The first fleet they had fought earlier, the ghost-like blades, those were not the real human warships. Those were only scouts, light units, the smallest and weakest vessels in humanity's arsenal. Now the real human weapons had arrived, and the Drakari understood what true fear was. This was not war anymore. This was judgment. The human armada stood across the battlefield like a wall of silent giants. Every Drakari ship floated helplessly, engines dead, weapons cold. The warlords stared at the screens, unable to speak. The truth was now in front of them. Humanity had never been weak. Humanity had only been patient. Warlord Scar felt his hearts pounding. His claws shook as he watched the human carriers open their massive hangar gates. Inside them, thousands of drones powered up at once. Their eyes glowed blue, synchronized, perfect. These were not simple machines. These were warforms designed for conflicts the galaxy had forgotten. But even then, the humans did not attack, they only prepared. And that made the Drakari feel even smaller, because the human armada looked ready to erase an empire, yet chose not to fire a single shot across the galaxy. Every empire watched the broadcast. The Council opened the battle feed on universal channels. Billions of citizens from hundreds of species witnessed the impossible sight. A vast Drakari invasion fleet crushed without a single explosion. A human armada large enough to block starlight. And a silence so heavy it felt like the universe was holding its breath. Then a message transmission opened, a human voice, calm and emotionless, filled every ship and station in the galaxy. "This conflict ends now," the voice said. "You attacked our colony. You killed our civilians. You ignored the warnings. We will not allow this again." The human armada moved forward with slow, terrifying precision, not firing weapons, not destroying ships, but disabling everything. Every Drakari military outpost went dark. Every communication tower shut down. Every fleet was drained of power in minutes. The entire Drakari war machine collapsed. Scar slammed his fists against the console. "Fight!" he shouted. "We are warriors," but his own ship refused to obey. The screens turned black, the engines shut down. The lights faded until only a dim red glow remained. A final human broadcast appeared before him. A single officer, calm and unshaken. "You wanted war," the officer said. "But we do not want your extinction." The officer leaned closer. "So this is your final warning," the message repeated across the galaxy. Every empire listened in silence. Every ruler felt their blood turn cold. Humanity had shown mercy, but that mercy felt heavier than any punishment. Then, slowly, the human armada pulled back. Their engines lit up with white fire. Their ships vanished one by one into cracks of bending light. In minutes, the sky was empty again. The galaxy trembled. The Drakari Empire surrendered unconditionally. The Council issued a new law, a law written in every language known. Do not provoke humanity, this time. No one laughed, no one mocked the warning. No one doubted the truth, because the galaxy had seen what humans could do. They had seen power unlike anything recorded. They had seen restraint stronger than destruction. And they finally understood the one thing the Council had always feared. Humanity did not seek war, but if forced into one, humanity would end it completely, without hesitation. Without mercy, without stopping, the galaxy would remember that truth for thousands of years. A truth carved into history, a truth whispered across stars. A truth no species would dare test again. Do not anger humanity.